Everyone, I have a fast and easy project today that I call book bling. I like to make book bling for my books, and I like to use just regular bobby pins to 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 make my bling with. It makes it easy to bring your book bling on and off your book spines without too much hassle. I use all kinds of different fibers for my book blings and all kinds of different doodads that I tie on. I use tags, paper beads, glass beads, bells, buttons, shells. I've got a diary key that I've had running around forever that it needed a place to live, gears, broken jewelry that you just don't know what to do with. I do tie on my little bits of bling onto my fibers, and I tie them in different parts of the fiber so that I have some on the top and some on the bottom, and so my little bling is all full of happiness and goodness and all kinds of fun stuff. Sometimes I do make my bling with just fibers and ribbons, yarn, embroidery floss. I've got this metallic floss that really works well in these. Any kind of twine, threads, ribbons, lace, any kind of anything. And sometimes I just add the fibers and maybe tie the ends of the ribbons or whatever with little knots to make it look a little bit more finished. I do make simple book bling. Most of these that I've got the tags on are mostly for bookmarks. I do enjoy being able to find my place in a journal that I'm working in or a planner that I'm using. All I have to do is take a ribbon and mark my place in the book, just like that. And it's easy to find the place next time I am using that book, just like that. And I have many different bookmarks to use, so I have many different places that I can mark to find easily if I need to. And then I do like the fact that I can take off my bling, use it on a different book. I can use the book without worrying about how all my bling is messing with the pages underneath, and then I can put it right back on the spine of my book very easily. So I do use regular bobby pins. I got these at the Dollar Tree. I loved these with the really cool colors. Got them at the Dollar Tree. I couldn't resist spending $1 for colored bobby pins. I do have my fibers cut in advance just to save some time. I've used some embroidery floss, some ribbon, some yarn, some fibers, some of this metallic stuff, some crochet thread, and I have cut it randomly at different lengths. I like my bling to be a little bit varied and not to be quite so plain, I guess. I do make it twice as long as I want it because I do fold them in half, so that will be as long as your bling will be. You can trim it off if you cut them too long. I like to make them just a little longer than I need so I have room to tie stuff off. So I guesstimate the center of my fibers and things and gather them up. I take my bobby pin and open it up just a little bit and slide those fibers onto the bobby pin right there in the center. And what I am doing is just making a tassel with all those fibers over the bobby pin. I am going to use a piece of embroidery floss to tie these fibers onto the bobby pin. I like to make the thing that I'm tying with, you can use thread or string or anything that you've got. You want to make it long enough so that the tails can be added to the tassel and you don't have to cut them off. So I am going to take a little bit of that thread and take my fibers, kind of gather them up at the bobby pin here, just like I was going to be making a tassel. I take the other end and I wrap it around the fibers really close to, of course now it won't wrap, I got it too close here. Wrap it around pretty close to the bobby pin, and I wrap a couple times. Make it fairly tight. Make sure that your bobby pin is kind of secure in there and not really too loose. And then all I do is take the ends, the tails of my embroidery floss or thread or whatever I'm using. Make sure the tassel is fairly tight so it doesn't slip on or off the bobby pin, and all I do is make a square knot, just like that. And like I said, I do add the tails to the tassel just to add a little bit more fibers and thickness to my tassel. Then I can leave it that way. I can tie little knots on the ends of ribbons to make it look more finished, or I can start adding my little bits of bling. Like I said, I use tags, jewelry, beads, paper beads, bells, buttons, whatever you have, you can add to it. I do like to use beads that have a fairly large hole so that I can just thread it onto my fiber or my ribbon or thread or whatever, and I just tie them on using a square knot. I do tie things on in various places in the tassel just to give it some interest. I like to put things up on the top parts, and sometimes I even tie on two things in two different parts of the tassel. So that's all I do, is I tie the bead on somewhere on that fiber. I also sometimes I will add the bead and just tie a knot at the end of a ribbon or something. Leave the knot large enough so that it stops the bead from falling off the end of the ribbon. Sometimes I do two knots just to make sure that knot's big enough, and I will do it that way sometimes, adding more than one bead at a time. So I just keep adding things until I feel like I've got enough stuff, feel like it is full enough. I do love adding charms. I like getting charms, buying charms. I never know what to do with them, and this is a perfect way to use all those charms. I did make a few tags to put on here, and again, all I'm going to do is tie it on this embroidery floss with just a square knot, and just going to leave all the little bits so that they can fray out and be really kind of cool. You can use a needle and thread and sew your little blings onto ribbons and things. You can sew your tassel together with thread, a needle and thread, but it's much faster just to tie stuff on just like that. Like I said, you can use all kinds of fun little bits of stuff. And just keep going until you feel like you have enough stuff on your bling. So this is part of the Everyday Art Hop. There are a bunch of great videos to go look at. All you need to do is go to the description box below, click the first link that you see there. That'll send you to the next video. And when you watch the videos and go through all the links and get to the video that you started with, you've watched all the videos. So it would be great if you would like and subscribe. We love to get comments, and if you have any questions, leave a comment and I will answer anything that you have that you need to know about. So thanks for watching, and happy hopping.